Hello and welcome back. We are continuing our Victoria run here in Civilization. We are doing this, of course, in prep for Civilization 7, which drops on February 11th, and so we decided to do one nice last hurrah on Civ 6, and we are playing as Victoria herself, because shout out to Victoria, which is going to be nice. Our bonuses are very industrial in nature, and specifically we have unique building Royal Navy Dockyard, which we are kind of pushing up now in several of our states, or not states, several of our cities, and so these will be the first things we push up, and we are hoping to be very trade-oriented internally, and I think we're going to get to see some of that today, at least in this episode, and maybe we take the fight to Vietnam. Said no American ever. Whoops. Alright, Operation Internal Trade is going to be a go. We are going to take this out, and we are going to slot back in isolationism, at least for now, for our policy slot. And we just finished having one spot in the capital, gaining us an additional trade route last turn, and now we should be able to trade, and look at that. Look at those yields. 4 food, 5 production, and 5 gold this early in the game. Feels oh so good. We also have Cahokia asking for a route, so we might connect this one to Cahokia and do the other ones internally, although we'll have plenty of time to do that. I think maybe we'll look to push up our cities right now, and so we will connect this, and also this will give us roads from Bristol to London. We're choosing Bristol because Bristol is kind of our newest city, our weakest city, and then I think we're going to come... Plymouth already has really good tiles, and so I don't think they need quite as much help as Liverpool. And so we will also purchase in here another trader to trade internally, and these guys will be working on, in terms of their production, another trade dock wharf, and hopefully we put that in Plymouth, and so this will give each of these cities like 4 or 5 production and 4 or 5 food, in addition to getting a lot of gold as well from these, and so I think we're about to kind of pop off a little bit here, but the problem is we can't build settlers right now, so we will not be able to build settlers until we finish researching one of these things. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to do almost all the research for games of recreation and just leave it with 1 turn remaining after we get the construction technology, that is, which I think is over here. We aren't going to build an irrigation wheel, so we don't have to worry about that, but we will make it so that we have 1 turn remaining on this. That way we can stop anytime we want to switch over and instead build settlers instead of trading internally for a whole ton of food in production. So we're making money hand over fist here, so I think we're just going to straight up buy a trade dock wharf here. And then what we will do is we will set up a Royal Naval Dockyard. Unfortunately, man, really not sure where we're supposed to put it. If we're supposed to put it in an inland spot or the outland spot. Inland spot, of course, is more protected and would give us a +1 on our industrial district. But we might be building the Wonder that boosts the tiles of all the lakes. Of course, we could build that over here and it'd be just fine over there. So I think maybe we build it inland. I'm really not sure what's best. This is slightly more protected. I guess we're doing this mainly because we will have a slightly better industrial district. But I think that we're going to want to make a trade route with, or we're going to want to make Cahokia or want to gain suzerainty of Cahokia, not just because strategically it's useful to be able to pass through here, and it will reveal the rest of this map over here, but also +1 gold in every market, mint, or lighthouse, both types. We are about to have lighthouses in pretty much every single one of our cities at this point, and so that will represent 4 gold a turn, which seems like a pretty attractive deal, and we'll just have to send 2 envoys, which we already have built up, and also if we go to war with Suleiman down here, we will have at least someone to kind of counteract Taruga having a pretty large amount of soldiers, so this is a little bit of a spooky prospect, and so this will help us out a little bit. We've also landed this island up here, and are in a little bit of trouble. Hopefully not too much trouble. Just looking to pick up goodie huts and scout around a little bit. We're going to recruit our second Great Admiral here. The other one was kind of a little bit of a nobody, but plus 20% production towards the units of naval class. That seems like a real keeper. Plus, we wanted to get quadrimes anyways, so we will go ahead and use them up, and we will get our quadrime. And now we have a couple of ideas here. We can go after Karakar, and if we want to Mega Bay harder, and obviously we do, we have a couple options here in terms of being able to get through the continent over on this side. We could destroy Karakar, or Karkar. If we do this, we could maybe rebuild a city here and then build a canal here, and then we would be able to snake through here because it looks like this stuff extends pretty far south. Alternatively, we could also build a canal just over here and also canal through this way, or we could do both. Both is good and very attractive. And also, I think we want to put some tax down and try and see if the positioning of Karkar and also this stuff could be a little bit better for us overall. Unfortunately, if we wanted to go that route, we probably would have to fight Suleiman, and Suleiman's a little bit scary. We don't have any iron anywhere, so we can't make swordsmen, and so we'd have to figure it out. But at the same time, we're getting like 100 gold a turn, so we could just buy a bunch of units really fast if we have to, which might end up being the case. We're also, our era is going to end pretty soon here. I think it's just a couple more turns, at which point I think we automatically slot out the card which is blocking us from making settlers anyways, at which point I think we might just make a settler in every city just as soon as production frees up in those cities. But for now, Plymouth has grown and it's growing some more. We also have a trade route in Plymouth. Bristol's grown a couple levels. Liverpool I think has grown one level, but they're pretty close to another one. So pretty much we're getting to come up quite nicely here as a result of our internal trade, and then we'll be able to trade outward again. Looks like they nab another city in Hue, and also Tra-Q, so we're a little bit behind on the number of cities, but I think we got some quality here with our internal trade that we've been doing for a few turns now. So we enter a new era and hit Golden Era. For our wildcard policy, we are going to use the one that gives us 4 great profit points a turn, and we are going to switch it up and start pushing settlers here, which is going to be good for us. We have a couple movements we need to make here, but I do believe that we get to choose a dedication unless things have changed. And you don't get to choose a dedication anymore. We might buy a unit from this place, which is offering up legionnaires, which would help us to be able to push down in Karkar. In fact, I think we're going to have a little bit of go-see at that, because we know that what we are doing, here's our legionnaire, what we are doing is we are, ooh, legionnaire, you can produce, what is this? I forgot what the unit has special actions. I forgot what they were. But he does have one build on him, which is going to be great for us. I think we'll go for Karkar and try and see. We already have a spearman heading down that way anyways. This guy here. And so we'll have a couple units. We're starting to mobilize some naval units. We have this galley. We have the quadrime that we had gotten. And I think all these together should be able to take it out. The question is do we want to take it out immediately? I don't really think the answer is yes, in which case we might want to go for Preslav instead. Problem with Preslav is it does have a wall, so that's maybe going to dampen our spirits a little bit. But we don't want to take this down, I don't think, until we are ready with like a settler just to plop down immediately. That way we can make sure that we'll be able to get what we want. Let's actually double check here that they don't have hills, because if both of these are hills, we won't actually be able to get out. It looks like this is a plains raid forest, no hills, so we could put a tile here, or we could put a city here. And also it's nice because it's in the middle of a mountain range here, it looks like. Oh no, maybe not. So this will be good for us here, I think, as things come along. We don't get to make a dedication, sad times for us, but we will continue to push forward. We have surrounded the city here of Preslav, and we have started bombarding it. They have been shooting at this quadrime. I think we'll get them out of there, because they are low life now. But the city should fall relatively soon. I think we'll just take it and look to, instead of having the city we'd planned on being here, just move it over one, and everything fits nice and easy, and then we will be able to maybe build another 2 or 3 cities up here, which is going to be nice for us, and take out this barbarian encampment, hopefully before it spawns a city-state, although if it spawns a city-state, then we could take them out pretty easy and just conquer the city. So maybe that's better, because this doesn't even look like a half-bad spot for a city. Looks like we could put a harbor here and have kind of this more northernly space we have. We have our first settler pumped out. I think we're going to move him here and settle here. It's a little bit tempting to maybe settle, you know, kind of over to the left here, but I think we're going to settle here, and then the second settler we're getting, I think we're going to settle over here overseas and look to kind of push out a little rather than filling in these gaps where we think that we will have future city spots more consistently, but here we will maybe have to compete for space with Dido up here, so I think it'd be better to try and push that out in that direction. I don't think Suleiman can, or I don't think anyone can try and nab this city spot in particular, and this one we want to have because I think that we'll be able to just take this volcano, which is currently erupting. We'll be able to take this 411 tile, and that'll be pretty good for us, on top of also gaining access to more luxuries that we can sell for money. We also need to start spending our money a little bit more aggressively here too. So we take Preslav here, which is good for us, and now Vietnam has declared war on Johannesburg, which leaves us in a little bit of a quandary. We kind of really hope that they raise Johannesburg. I don't think they're going to raise Johannesburg. We could declare war on Johannesburg to try and raise it ourselves before they can. What we really want is we want to be able to put a city right here. I think that we're dedicated to Mega Bay. Is Mega Bay good? No, but Bay is life, as everyone knows. So we want to be able to put a city right here, and the reason we can't is because of Johannesburg. So we would just as soon they not be there. And so if we do this, we could put a canal here. God bless map tax, and then we can put a canal on the other side and get full access to the sea here. Oop, add tack. And I think that this is kind of what we're interested in eventually executing, is getting this set up here, and also Karkar, which has you know, moved sides. Same thing. I think we want to try and get as many canal connections as possible. Now, I don't think canal connections are really all that useful. As far as I know, they make it so that trade routes get multiplicatively effective, but maybe we end up getting absolutely mongo huge trade routes as a result of this. We could also use military engineers to help build them, which is kind of interesting because we have a bonus to military engineers. And so I'm not sure where we want to put an encampment, but okay. For our governor slots, just to kind of quickly go over this, we have gotten provision on Magnus, so that producing a settler does not consume any population. So what we will be doing is we'll be microing around Magnus wherever we are producing settlers. So after this settler is done, we're going to move Magnus over here, and in doing this, hopefully be able to get some stuff done better. Now, he also helps guys chop stuff out faster, and so that's probably also going to be something we try and lean into with Magnus. So I think as a result, we might move Liang over here right now, with the idea that we are going to purchase we are planning on purchasing a builder here, and we're going to use the builder to chop out some of these forests if we want to decide we want to place a district. That way when Magnus is over here, we can do the chopping, and that will make a little bit more sense. We know we want an industrial district. We know we need to place our government district, which we always hate to place, but I'm thinking that this city is actually going to build it when we eventually get this city up and going, and I'm thinking Plymouth is that's going to be their next kind of area of ingress. A little bit unfortunate that Taruga ends up nabbing this. Taruga might also be on the chopping block for us, but right now, well, maybe they don't have too much military, because we could always come in here and buy some men-at-arms without too much difficulty. I think we have enough time to buy it now. We can't buy another spearman for another 6 turns, but really it's quite nice to be playing on the Barbarians mode, where the Barbarian camps allow you to buy a bunch of troops, and also leaning into producing a bunch of gold, which is exactly what we're doing. And we are going to be doing international trade routes soon as our trade routes start finishing up, because currently they're still all internal, even though we aren't getting the mega internal bonuses, which is, to be fair, helping our cities come up faster. We have, you know, London is a size 10, and let's take a look at the capital over here. Yeah, no one is a size 10 over here. Oh man, they have a pretty nice bay over here too. That's actually a huge bay. Big bay. Big, nice. So we get the requisite tech to start making industries, and I think we're going to make an industry here in Bristol. We see that this would give us a 30% production towards military units in host city. I think Bristol is actually going to be a very nice spot to put military units, or at least to build an encampment, because we can build an encampment right here. Why don't we put down the map tack for that so we don't forget. We will want to build map tacks eventually, and this ties in quite nicely, and we get to make use of this right away. And so all of this together feels pretty good, especially if we are planning on going to war with Vietnam. This would actually just be an unbelievably good spot for an encampment. Really hard for them to try and push us here. We can put 2 archers behind, we can focus the other side, and we can maybe let our navy kind of do a lot of the work, come in here, go for Hue, or go for Da Nang. We have quite a big navy. I'm not seeing if these guys have walls or not. I'm guessing we have to check them with the fog of war before we would be able to actually quite know. We are seeing a lot of these biremes from Phoenicia kind of kicking about. We saw a few more over here earlier. Definitely thinking that we're going to see a lot of them, but not entirely sure if we want to commit forces down here yet. We are going to scout up here and to the right. I think we're going to send another quadrime here, this quadrime up to help deal with I think we're just supposed to let these guys form a city-state, except they're just going to take them over 20 turns to make one, but then we can just take it. But we could try and pick up the goody huts on this island. We could search this island for some goody huts, and get ready. We might move this city from here to here. I think that would be okay, but that would allow us to really, as we expand out, really have the Navy waters occupy, and give us a lot of line of sight. But the city probably won't be as good, but this would also free up more tiles for London to work, as well as this city that we're going to be placing here, which might be a little bit tile light as well. We settle our first city on another continent. Probably not going to build a Royal Navy dockyard on this one, although we will maybe have some spots we could if we wanted to, like over here, something like this. But we do want to get started on some amount of industrial zones, which are going to be better for us. So we will take a look at this guy, and we'll put down our industrial zone, and then I think what we're going to do is we are going to, let's see, purchase a nice monument here so we can get expanding the borders right away. We have plenty of money. We do eventually want to move a worker over here to work some of these tiles, which will help us out quite a bit. But pretty strong tiles over here also gets us a nice little foothold, and some of these areas will be really easy for us to hold. Like if we build a canal through here, we will be able to hold it really easily with ships against Dido, although she probably won't play that intelligently anyways. Johannesburg has fallen and was not razed to the ground, so this means that eventually we will have to fight these guys. I don't know what this guy's plan is here. And maybe this implies a time to act, maybe starting next turn. I don't know where they're going with this, but we could maybe try and nab their settler if they make a little bit of a misstep. So we'll actually put ourselves in position to do that if they try and embark. And if they don't try and embark, they're not really having any place that they could settle here. So they'll need to figure that one out. We will found our own religion, of course, none other than the great Crabistry. We want to spread our crabs to everyone, and it looks like we will have a few options, but perhaps not as much. International trade routes is pretty attractive, knowing that we will have a lot of trade routes. 2 cities with holy sites and an additional 2 for every building in the holy site district. This means we'll have to send to places with holy sites. Holy sites provide faith adjacency bonus on production. We don't really have very high bonuses, so I don't think this is as attractive. I do like Zen Meditation, +1 amenities is going to be quite nice, so I think we'll go Zen Meditation. Well, We could also go religious community. See, the thing is I don't know. I guess religious community is probably going to be good because we're super trade oriented, and then we will have to pick up one of these. I think we'll have a little bit of a think and a look at some of these because that is a lot to look through. So, decided to go for cross-cultural dialogue here. Was a little bit tempted to, if we were going to send out mostly trade routes from our capital, mosque was a little bit attractive, giving plus faith to trade routes and also +2 science. But I think that overall we'll generate more science from cross-cultural dialogue. We're a little bit behind on the science right now, and so I think that this is going to be pretty good for us. So we will found our own religion here, the Great Crabistry. Spread to everyone. Fun the whole family can enjoy. And what we will be doing, we now have to compete a little bit, to some extent, with the faith down here, which is, I thought they founded a religion. Do they not? Shinto. So Shinto has been founded, if I'm not mistaken, by these Vietnam down here, so we will eventually come to head a little bit, which is going to make it everyone really bad when we take the capital city. If we take the capital city, it's not necessarily essential, but we do have to do something about Johannesburg, especially if we want to, make the bay as big as possible. So I think we want to do, not because it's good, because the memes, but also if London has a trade route that goes through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 canals and then ends up in Dang Long, I think that's just an actual enormous amount of gold, and so maybe that actually is just super good for us. I don't really know. It's a little bit hard for me to project out and predict. We do have a settler coming online in 2 turns. I think we might build this city, but man, it's such a weak city. We could also alternatively build up here, which is maybe going to be good. Currently trying to collect the goodie hut, and then we're probably going to go for this next in terms of organizing a lot of our military and just look to take this city, unless it's a particularly good city-state for us. So we purchased the hero Oya with the idea that we hoped that, or we built her rather, with the idea that we hoped that she would help us win this war. And now we are off and away. We don't have too much military power down here, but I think that we're going to be ramping, and so we'll be in okay shape. We do have enough gold now to buy what we wanted to buy out of here. We're going to greed and go for a builder here, because we know we want to put a builder in there. And then we're going to move over Magnus, reassign him down to Bristol, because we have, coming out of Bristol, a settler, so that we can save the money on the settler, or save the pop on the settler. We will have Bristol swap construction to ancient walls, that way it'll give Magnus a little bit of time, or we'll do this for 1 or 2 turns, and then we'll swap back to the settler. That way Magnus will already be in place by the time the settler comes in, and so that'll be good for us down here. We're still bringing in all the ships. It's a little bit tempting to go for Dido right now, but I do think she could mess up these 2 cities, and these cities we don't want to have to pull guys in to defend these, and so we'll just kind of calm down. I really don't know where she could possibly place a city that wouldn't be disloyal anyways. If she places it here, it's just going to get converted to our side eventually, so I think we would be okay with her placing a city there anyways. So we have a pretty easy kind of spot to defend here, it looks like to me. We're going to use Oya's storm power, which we've never used before. Yikes for them. Which is going to heal some of our guys and hurt some of their guys and make it easy for us to come in here and clean up. They can't get really a lot of surface area on either our city or, our units, kind of just pushing in with 1 stack, and they have way more units than us, but they have to single file here, and we are actually choosing to complete the ancient walls here. I think that'll be useful for us. We do have the archers that need to heal up because we kind of played a little sloppy. We've also been destroying their trade coming out of here. And so this has been nice for us. Looks like we'll be nabbing this. They've been trading with Dido, and so as we raid these, we get to purchase more units as well. I'm thinking that we purchase some kind of siege weapon at some point here. Let's switch off of feudalism, because we're not going to be getting the Eureka for it anytime soon. So let's do this, although we do want to get, as quickly as possible, I think, exploration, so it's looking like we might have to... Actually, there's no shot that we build 6 farms anywhere, so we'll stay on feudalism even though we're not going to Eureka for it. Another thing I just wanted to note is if things get a little bit too nasty, we will build a we will buy a quadrime over here, and we'll just park it, you know, right over here or right in here, and we will be able to just absolutely annihilate anything. Or even a galley. Or no, wait, we can't park it in here, but we can just park it back here, and then they will have a really tough time pushing in here, making this place super, super defensible. I don't know if we've ever had, like, a more defensible city than one that is, like... There's only one land area here, one land area down to the south. We can cover that land area with an encampment, which is the eventual plan, and then we'll just have 2 pockets to store a bunch of naval units. Really, really easy to defend, which is one of the reasons why we weren't too worried about the war, despite us having way less military power than the person we're attacking. We're starting to equalize because I think we killed a couple units already. So we're going to come here. I don't know if we're going to suffer getting shot at just to raid that, but we'll just instead push kind of deeper here and see what's going on. Hui doesn't have any sort of walls or anything, so we can just start shooting at that immediately. And then the galley coming up, we should be able to capture it, give us some leverage. We will just destroy Johannesburg. I'm not sure we could ever really hold on to this. Interesting would be capturing this, though. We might be able to hold on to that. I'm not entirely sure. But we could just... I don't want to raise a bunch of cities. I don't know how much we want to push this in terms of taking cities either. I mean, we do want their Bay city. And if we sink Johannesburg, we'll be able to put a city in here somewhere. So maybe we need to start thinking about, like, long-term. If there's a city here, then I do think there's maybe a city that can be built, like, right here. Something like this. Actually, I think it's like this exact tile might be the only spot where there can be a city. There can't be one now because Johannesburg is too close. But if Johannesburg is not there, this would be the spot. Something like this. And if we want to build a city there, well, I guess Thang Long is kind of getting in the way. But in either case, we'll see what they have to muster here. And we'll peel off another turn of combat. Yeah, they're just cycling guys around, which is not going to work out for them. We can just use our hero power again here. Oop. Like eating it to the barbs a little bit. Those barbs are a little bit annoying to approach. These guys aren't going to heal ever because we don't have any iron. But we'll ignore the barbs and focus on this here. I think we can just use our hero power here. Damage all the adjacent units, and that's and heal our own units. We should be able to, I think, take out the elephant. And that's going to be good for us because we do want to get things going in terms of pushing over to be able to take out this encampment. Specifically, we do want to be able to clear out with our guy. So we'll come in here and we will produce the rest of that settler, but what we will do is we will look to clear this out and start building an encampment here as well, if it makes sense. If they have too many units here, we won't push into this one tile up because we don't want to give them too much surface area. I guess there's 2 squares here and 2 squares here, but okay, the archer's starting to heal up quite a bit. I think we'll put him in here just in case we use the hero power again. That'll help the archer to heal up, and so I think that'll work for us. We have an admiral we can recruit, Rajendra Kola. Not sure who that is, but the permanent +3 combat for all naval units seems incredibly strong. So we will recruit him up, and we will take a look at this fight. I think that we don't need to use our activations here. I think we can just take this guy out like this. Looks like not quite, but we will... Well, no, we should finish him off. Make sure he's dead. Good and dead. And then we will come down here and get ready to start building an encampment there, which is going to be good for us. I think we'll just activate him straight away. Hopefully that's not just to all living naval units. And then we have another one, increasing trade route capacity, and trade routes to the city generate +2 gold for both cities. I think that we will recruit this gentleman as well. Great Admiral Zhang He. We know that guy. He was kind of the last. He did an enormous expedition for the Qing Empire. I think it was Qing. Maybe it was Ming. Actually, I think it might have been Ming. And that was kind of the last big expedition. And then China kind of closed up shop and was like, we're not interested in any sort of public affairs anymore. We'll activate him as well immediately in London, and this will give us a nice little guy we could trade with. We are trying to expand out where we can trade with, so Kitty will be pushing out it so that we can trade more with Dido, which is maybe not something we hate. We don't quite have, we don't have all the canals set up. I think once we set up the canals, our best trading partner is going to be Cleopatra, because all of this will just flow through all these canals down, and so expecting to get a lot of gold out of her at some point in time, and so maybe we should just trade with her and just look to play nice with her in particular, but I think for now, I think expanding out the trades maybe is going to make a little bit more sense. We'll also be pushing our religion, so maybe this is a reason to want to do things in a particular way. We could also send the trade center trade to Sunderland and look to grow that place a little bit faster. Maybe we do that and we look to grow that city a little bit faster as a consequence. We'll heal this guy up and we'll continue on our way with the great struggle here. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep bombarding. I suppose we could go after this a little bit, because we don't want them to come after us. You not ranged attack them? Let's go after them a little bit here, because they can attack us back. Hui can't attack us. I think that... Okay, I really wish we could travel through here already. Because if we could, I think we would just go after Dong Hui rather than going after Hui. But to be fair, we could just go after Dong Hui anyway if we wanted. And then look to destroy Johannesburg and just sail around all this. Maybe that's the way we're supposed to do it. I think that... Oh, it's almost a freebie. It's not quite a freebie. But we'll keep... maybe we keep one naval unit here. And then we push Johannesburg Dong Hui, and then we call it a war. I think I kind of like the idea of that. We don't necessarily want to lock ourselves into producing tons and tons of military units for an extended period of time. Alright, we get pretty lucky here picking up Sinbad, who is really good when you have barbarian encampments, or we gave the ability to get Sinbad. He also can target enemy naval units or barbarian camps and turn them into a ton of gold, which is going to be fantastic. We started producing... I think what we're going to do is, in London, we have not yet built a guy, a hero, so I think we're going to build Sinbad out of London, and he is going to be amazing. He also has a good amount of combat ability. Again, we wish we could send someone just straight from London. Actually, you know what? Maybe we're even supposed to... God, it's so weird, but maybe we're even supposed to build Sinbad out of Bristol here, because we want to get over to Dong Hui. Something like this. Looks like our, Cahokia is doing a decent job of weakening Dong Hui's, or the units kind of surrounding Dong Hui. We don't really see many units coming towards us anymore, and so we're kind of getting ready to maybe push towards Johannesburg, and so if they can keep them distracted, that'll be good for us. We're snaking around here, but the thing was, if we built Sinbad out of London, we'd have to go all the way around if we wanted to help out with this fight. And so maybe we end up building him out of Bristol, in which case, maybe we want to build him now. Devotion to Sinbad here. And then we are going to use Magnus's chopping speed to get him to build faster. And then we'll build something else out of London. We've also, kind of over the course of the past few turns, purchased 2 men-at-arms. One to deal with this back here, which we didn't quite notice initially, and so hopefully we can deal with that straight away. And another one which is coming down over here, so we will be heading them towards Johannesburg, and so we will be able to get a proper surround on Johannesburg. I guess we'll have to bring this guy around from the right-hand side here, and we'll just barely have enough units, we're going to use the hero as well that we have here, and the archer, so we can surround Johannesburg, and then we will be able to just raise it to the ground. We also have the settler already ready here for making the big bay. This is truly the battle of the bays, because they have the little bay, but it could be bigger. It should be bigger. I don't know if this is a land portion or if this is an ocean portion. I'm guessing it's land, because I don't think I've ever seen a lake with like that's shaped like this before. But if it is a land thing, Huolua can get connected to the sea, which is absolutely amazing aesthetically. Probably not that important overall, but things are developing here as we are starting to get a little bit of a push. God bless Sean Bean and his narration. We do get the Great Lighthouse, and now we're having several modifiers. We have an Admiral +1 movement modifier on our ships, a Great Lighthouse now +1 movement modifier on our ships, which is going to be great, and we have Leif Erikson giving +1 vision, so our ships are really nice, and this is extremely nice considering the situation here, where if anyone's going to have to attack us, they got to use some sort of boats, and so we're in an excellent spot. We are pushing in, or trying to rather push in, here. I guess we'll come over here. Looks like they're surrounding Donkoy. Hopefully they make a little bit of space for us to get in, and we are getting ready to surround Johannesburg here. So things are not looking very good for Johannesburg, considering it's our intention to raise the city to its, raise it entirely. These guys are coming in, and so it's just a matter of time here, I think, for Johannesburg, unless they are currently building walls. If they're currently building walls and some walls come up, then that'll make it a little bit harder for us. We have enough money to afford a trebuchet, catapult, but I think we're going to hold off and not quite go for that in an immediate sort of fashion. I think we're going to conclude the episode here and leave the conclusion of this war for next episode. Things are going pretty well on that front. This episode, we kind of rolled out quite a few cities. If I'm not mistaken, we had London, Plymouth, Liverpool at the start of this episode, and maybe Bristol, but if we didn't add Bristol, we added Leeds, Stoke-upon-Trent, Sunderland, because we snaked that settler, Birmingham, Preslav, which we had conquered, and so I think we're in just like pretty good shape to start popping off a little bit. I think we have a pretty high city count, and I think that we're going to be adding Don Quoy and be raising and building kind of new Johannesburg over here. Shout out to Johannesburg. And so I think we're in pretty good shape, and also we're really kind of ramping up and gearing up towards getting into some of the industrial stuff, in addition to kind of, we got some amount of pop-off, I think, in terms of we're making a ton of money from a ton of trade centers, because this is what we have access to right now, Royal Naval Dockyards. And we have them in most of our cities, or that is mostly what we're building. Very maritime, very nice, and we've gotten a ton of bonuses for our ships, so things are feeling pretty good, especially because really there's like nothing that's scary at any, nothing scary whatsoever right now. I mean, I guess the Barb camp coming up here was a little bit spooky, but we can't get double teamed very easily, and especially once we do get these canals going, we will be able to just move ships back and forth really easy, and our position's very difficult to attack because we can defend our coast with ships. So it's starting to shape up like a nice kind of Great British game. The shape of this island's not even that far from the shape of Great Britain. I mean, it is a little bit. Here's the south. Wales is in Dong Hoi. We got the north up here. Ireland's connected, and Ireland's really connected to other stuff as well. It's connected to Hammurabi. Everyone remembers when the Irish Hammurabi. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Again, we are doing this run because we are kind of prepping for February 11th when Civilization 7 drops, so we will probably be streaming all day that day, so I hope you guys enjoy, and maybe tune in then. You can find it on our page, and also put up a notification bell for there if you don't want to forget. And other than that, have a good one, you guys.